And we are back. Welcome to the final preview and predictions for the European qualifiers for the World Cup from this international break. This is the final day of match day 8. And before we get into it, I just want to say another massive thank you to all of you that have been involved in this daily run over the course of the last 6 days. Another massive set of views, interactions, likes, new subscribers, so thank you very much for all of you that have got involved over the past few days. You can, of course, still drop a like on this video if you enjoy all of my previous predictions. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on all the return of club football videos we've got coming up for you this week, with the return of Premier League and La Liga this weekend, and then, of course, Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League next week as well. And, of course, if you want to get access to even more previews and predictions, including Ligue 1, Bundesliga, and Serie A, hit the join button to become a member of the channel as well. But without any further ado, these are the 8 matches we have got taking place tomorrow to round off these European qualifiers. You still have time to check out my previews and predictions for today's video. Today's matches, should I say, that is available at the top of your screen right now. But let's just get straight into it. We'll start off with Group E and our opening game there. See Spain taking on Bulgaria. Once again, Spain very dominant in their victory over Georgia on match day 7. The only real surprise in the game was it wasn't more, because they missed a penalty. They hit the woodwork on more than one occasion, and yeah, they won 2-0, but it really could have been a hell of a lot more. For Bulgaria, unfortunately, it was a hell of a lot more, as they lost 6-1 at home to Turkey. To their credit, they did actually put up a pretty decent fight in the first half, scoring a goal as well, but then one bizarre own goal at the start of the second half led to a full-blown capitulation, and ultimately they ended up losing 6-1, which sees them way down at the bottom of this group. In terms of the team news coming into this one, there are no fresh injury or suspension concerns for either side, but just a reminder to you that Spain are missing a fair few of their usual starters at the moment, so they're not quite at full strength, but it didn't stop them playing incredibly well against Georgia. In terms of the head-to-head record, no one's going to be too surprised to know that Spain have won most of these. It was a 3-0 victory to Spain in Bulgaria. They've won all 3 of their opening matches so far. Bulgaria have lost all 3 of their opening matches so far. So obviously we are going to go for a Spanish victory here. Although unfortunately, as with their game against Turkey, I think it's going to be a little bit heavier than the 3-0 they suffered at home to Spain. I'm opening today's video with a 5-0 victory to Spain. Now for the important one in the group. We've got Turkey and we have got Georgia. Turkey currently on 6 points. Georgia currently on 3 at the halfway mark, which means this is an absolute must-win game for the Georgians. It's an absolute must-not-lose for Turkey. In terms of the form guide coming into this, it's clearly in favour of the home side. Yes, it should be noted that the last time they played at home, they did lose 6-0 to Spain, but we've already spoken about how good Spain are at the moment, and if you actually look at the current form of Turkey, that result is a severe anomaly compared to what it's been a very, very good run for them over the course of the last 12 months. In terms of Georgia, obviously, they were absolutely hammered by Spain. Again, yes, it did only finish 2-0, but over the course of that match, they only had 18% possession, which resulted in 1 shot. Not even on target, just 1 shot in the entire match. So they've not exactly put a dent in the Spanish team. They're now going to have to produce a result away to Turkey in this one. However, it should be noted again that crucially when these two sides met in the reverse fixture back in Georgia, it was a 3-2 away win for Turkey. So you definitely have to have the Turkish side as the favourites coming into this, but Georgia are more than capable of putting up a fight. In terms of the team news coming into this one, again, there is no injuries or suspensions coming into this in regards to the people that then played on Saturday, but it should be interesting because both teams actually made changes early on in the second half to keep their key players fit. The moment Spain went 2-0 up, Georgia took off the likes of Midukatske and Kvaratskhelia. But because Turkey were already so far ahead against Bulgaria, they took off the likes of Arda Güler, Çalhanoğlu and Yildiz pretty much bang on the exact same minute in their respective games. So both sides are going to be pretty fully rested in terms of their star players. Although I do think Georgia do have a chance here, I can't look past a Turkey win in my opinion. It's going to be an interesting game. I think both teams are going to score. I think it's going to be an entertaining one. But in the end of it, I would be surprised if Turkey don't come out on top. I wish Georgia the best of luck, but I'm going for a 3-1 win to Turkey. On to Group F then, where we have some clear front runners once again, and that is, of course, Portugal, who have 3 wins from their opening 3 games. From there, it gets really interesting. Hungary are currently second on 4 points. Armenia are third on 3 points. And Republic of Ireland have just 1 point from their opening 3 matches. That means as we look ahead to our opening game here, it's a really must-win game for the Republic of Ireland. A victory here would actually put them above Armenia and could put them ahead of Hungary as well, obviously in the knowledge that Hungary are travelling to Portugal in the other game. So it's a real opportunity for them, but the crucial thing here is for Ireland, it's just not been a good start to their qualification process. Okay, they got the draw with Hungary, but they lost away to Armenia in the reverse fixture. And even though they put up a hell of a fight against Portugal on Saturday, saving a penalty, this, that and the other, it still wasn't enough as they fell to a stoppage time winner from Ruben Neves, and that leaves them in the position that they're in. What I would say is a performance like that is the sort of one that does give you the motivation to then turn up, especially now at home to a side that you're expected to beat, to then go out there and put in a performance. But I wouldn't say it's a guarantee right now. In terms of the team news coming into this one, there is a big loss in the heart of the midfield for Republic of Ireland as Burnley's Josh Cullen is going to be suspended. He's made a really good start in the Premier League, I would say. I know Burnley haven't been at their best, but I think he's had a pretty damn good start to the season. He is going to be missing after his second yellow card of qualification came against Portugal. No fresh concerns for Armenia coming into this. As we've already mentioned, the reverse fixture was a win for Armenia. It was a 2-1 victory for them on that occasion. Their 3 points in qualification, though, have all come from that one game. So they also lost to Portugal. They also lost to Hungary. It should be an Irish win, but I'm not fully confident in it. I am still going to go for it. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to the Republic of Ireland. The last time these other two sides met, it was an absolute classic, though. A 3-2 victory for Portugal. Brilliant, brilliant game. End-to-end, non-stop. Both sides creating chances. And given how they both played on Saturday, you'd expect this to be the same. Obviously, like I just said, Portugal did need a stoppage time winner to beat Ireland, but over the course of the match, they were absolutely dominant. So many chances. The ones I didn't mention, Bernardo Silva missing an open goal. There was a couple of other real easy chances that were put wide. I think Keller had a really good game for Ireland, but Portugal really should have won that one by more. On the flip side, Hungary, as you would expect, very, very dominant against Armenia. Yes, Armenia did have a couple of chances at the other end, and Hungary do look a little bit vulnerable on the counter-attack, but for the vast majority of it, they were the dominant side. So they're going to be coming into this very, very confident as well. In terms of the team news here, there could be a potential injury to Goncalo Ignacio from a Portugal perspective. He went off at half-time against Ireland, but I've looked around. I can't see any indication that he is actually injured, but just one to keep a note of that he did go off at half-time. And from there, for Hungary, the only real bit of team news is that the guy who scored both goals when they faced Portugal back last month is now available after getting suspended in that match and missing their win over Armenia. That is their striker, Varga. He should be available for this one. No doubt that Hungary are going to absolutely go for this. They're going to know the situation going on with the Ireland-Armenia game. They don't want to be caught napping, as it were, but I do think it's a hell of an arse for them to go to Portugal and get a result. That being said, Portugal did take a very long while to get that goal against Ireland the other day, but I think this is going to be a little bit more of an open game. I think with Hungary wanting to go for it, we could have an open game with a fair few goals. Ultimately, I do expect Portugal to be the winners come the end of it. So I'm going for a 3-1 win to the home side. On to Group I then, and Group I starts with the only early kickoff of the day. All the rest of the matches are being played at the same time tomorrow, and that opening game is between Estonia and Moldova. And to be honest, this is a real damp squid of a game because basically these sides are playing for absolutely nothing because both sides have already been eliminated from the tournament, whatever happens in this match. To be fair to Estonia, they gave it a good go against Italy on Saturday and they even scored a late consolation after conceding 3, but realistically, it wasn't too much of a contest. Italy cruising to a 3-0 early lead before Estonia's late consolation. For Moldova, they made their return to competitive action after their 11-1 defeat to Norway the last time they played a competitive game. They did play a friendly over the course of the weekend, losing 2-1 to Romania, who actually went on to beat Austria last night in what was a very good result for them. So who knows? Maybe getting a result against a side like that, even though it was in defeat, puts them in good stead for a game against Estonia here. Regardless, though, they are still bottom of this group with 0 points so far. As far as I could tell, no fresh injury or suspension concerns coming out of Estonia's game with Italy, nor Moldova's friendly against Romania / suspensions from the game against Norway. Ultimately, it should be an Estonia win here. Moldova really do not have a very good record. They have lost all of their last 7 matches in all competitions in a row, and that includes losing 3-2 at home to Estonia in the reverse fixture. To be fair, Estonia haven't won any of their matches since either, but with anything on the line, or sorry, nothing on the line, it could make this one a little bit more complicated to predict, but ultimately, I still think Estonia should be winning at home to Moldova, so I'm going for a 2-1 win to the home side. Then, once again, we have the really important game in this group. It is Italy taking on Israel. As things stand, Italy are now 3 points ahead of Israel with a game in hand. That is because Italy beat Estonia over the course of the weekend, whereas Israel lost to Norway. What's crucial, though, is that Israel lost 5-0 to Norway. Norway are absolutely flying at the moment. And it does mean that this game is realistically must win for both. Don't forget, only top spot gets automatic qualification. With Norway on a fully 100% record, Italy are going to need to win this game to make sure that when it comes to that second game against Norway, they have a chance to beat them to try and get above them. Failure to win this game against Israel, that's not possible. For Israel, it's absolutely must win just to keep their playoff hopes alive. They've got to try and peg Italy back to then give themselves that chance of it happening. But I just don't think it's going to happen given how poor they were against Norway the other night. And let's not forget, Norway also missed a penalty in that 5-0 victory as well. In terms of the team news coming into this one, there is a big loss in the Italian defence because Inter Milan's Bastoni is going to be suspended following a yellow card against Estonia, meaning it's 2 in 3 for him. And then for the Israeli side, it looks like they are going to be without Nachimas, or Nachmias, who had to leave the field very early in the first half against Norway due to an injury. Personally, I just hope this game is as fun as the reverse fixture. For those of you who don't remember, when these sides met last month, it was a 5-4 victory to the Italians. An absolutely crazy game. So if we can get something like that here back in Italy, we're in for a very, very fun night. But again, regardless, I do still think Italy should be considered the strong favourites for this one. Israel have got to go for it. They can't afford to not win this game. So it could make it for another very, very open game. But in the end, I'm going for another Italian victory. They've been scoring goals for fun since Gattuso took over, and I'm backing that run to continue here. I'm going for a 4-1 victory to Italy, which then leaves our final group, which is Group K. We've got Andorra taking on Serbia in the opening game here, and well, we've spoken about must win a fair amount over the course of today's video. It's absolutely must win for Serbia now because they have now lost their last 2 home games without scoring, losing 5-0 to England in the last international break, and then rather embarrassingly, and I don't want to rub the Albanian fans up the wrong way here, but it's quite an embarrassing defeat for Serbia to lose at home to Albania. To be fair, they did control the vast majority of the game, but their shooting and their finishing was absolutely diabolical, and you've got to give credit to Albania. They hung in there, they absorbed the Serbian chances, and then when their opportunity came, they absolutely took it, and it means that they are now well ahead of Serbia going into this game. Serbia do have this as a game in hand over Albania, but they're 4 points behind them. So even if Serbia win here, they're still going to be a point behind Albania going into the final matches, and it's going to be a big ask for them. The good news is for them is they're coming up against Andorra, who are still yet to win in this group, although to be fair to them, they did get their first point of the qualification process when they drew 2-2 away to Latvia on Saturday. They are still out though, and it obviously means they're not really playing for anything here, and Serbia should still be considered the favourites for it. Coming into this, there was a very late red card for Andorran player Julien or Guilen, something like that. He is going to be suspended for Andorra. No fresh concerns for Serbia, who will have Milenkovic back in their defence following his red card against England, meaning he missed that Albania game. Provided they can get their shooting boots back on. Again, watch the highlights. The amount of chances that Vlahovic especially put wide or put over where you'd expect him to score. Very, very poor from him. Ultimately, if they get that right, I would expect Serbia to come out on top here, but who knows? They are not playing good stuff at the moment. They won the reverse fixture by a goal for a scoreline of 3-0. I'm not going to go that severe now that they're away. I'm just going to go for a 2-0 win to Serbia, which means last and certainly not least, we have Latvia taking on England. For Latvia, they're going to be absolutely kicking themselves because, again, realistically, they should have beaten Andorra. And if they'd have done that, they'd be above Serbia going into this game against England. And England are basically already qualified for the World Cup. So I'm not sure they're going to be at their absolute maximum for this. That being said, England are playing absolutely very good stuff at the moment. They have won their last 8 games in a row without conceding. They've not conceded a single goal in qualifying. They've won all 5 games in qualifying. They won a friendly at the weekend, beating Wales 3-0, or should I say on Thursday night. I was there. First half was really good. Second half was really boring. And I expect something similar here. Like, let's be honest, England should be dominating a game against Latvia. The reverse fixture was a 3-0 win at Wembley, and that's kind of been the theme under Thomas Tuchel so far. England go in early, get a couple of go-ahead goals, and then just tend to see out the rest of the game. Yes, they did score 5 against Serbia. It would be really nice to see them do that a little bit more often. But I think with the return of club football this weekend, in a match where player for player, England are so far ahead of Latvia, I think we'll see something very similar again where England put the pressure on early, go ahead, and then just see out the rest of the game. In terms of the team news coming into this one, there are actually no concerns for Latvia coming into this. Unbelievably, they had 6 players on yellow cards going into the Andorra game, and all of them managed to avoid getting suspended, which is good for them. For England, there is still a question mark over Harry Kane, who missed the friendly against Wales, but it is widely expected that he will return to lead the line and captain the 3 Lions once again here. Again, I just think any other result than an England victory would be a major, major, major upset. So as with the reverse fixture, I'm just going to go for a comfortable England 3-0 win. And that is going to be it for today's video. That is going to be it for this international break. Yes, I know it's so sad to see it end, but we return to club football once again next week. So make sure you are dropping a like on this video, subscribing if you're new around here. Let me know down in the comment section all of your thoughts on all of these games taking place over the course of the next couple of days. And before I leave you, here is what you guys have been saying on the community polls for these matches. Unsurprisingly, basically everyone thinks Spain beat Bulgaria. Basically everyone thinks Turkey beat Georgia. Most of you think Ireland beat Armenia. Basically everyone thinks Portugal beat Hungary. Most of you think Estonia beat Moldova. Basically everyone thinks Italy are going to beat Israel. Most of you think Serbia are going to beat Andorra. And basically everyone thinks England are going to beat Latvia. Once again, a massive thank you very much for watching. I now get to take a couple of days rest as we prepare for the club football to return. Don't forget to head over to the community page once again though, because the polls for the Premier League and La Liga will be posted very, very shortly as well. So a final thank you very much for watching once again. There are my predictions for tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.